Hey, can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure it's actually going well. Cool. All right. You guys able to hear me okay? See me okay? Cool. I think so. All right. How's everybody doing? It's good to see everybody. Man, it's been a long time since I've done one of these. I haven't done a live stream in some time. Brentman19 says slacker. Oh man, how's everybody doing? What's going on, guys? I just wanted to hang out with you guys for a little while, answer some questions. I know it's almost been about a year actually since I've released a video. I think the last time I released a video was in June of last year. That was the Bohemia campaign. I think the new EU4 expansion had come out around that time. Actually, I forget what it was called. Emperor, I think it was. I had to get my Starbucks. Yeah, I think it was Emperor. So we'll make sure you guys can see me okay. Okay. Not too bad. So yeah, I just want to take some time just to hang out with you guys for a little bit, you know, maybe like an hour or two, and answer any questions you guys have, that kind of thing. There's been some recent life developments. I don't know for sure. I may be releasing some videos again. I might kind of get back into it. To tell you guys the truth, I've just kind of wanted a sort of creative outlet, and you know, YouTube has kind of always been that thing for me, you know, and I have a couple YouTuber friends that I really love, and you know, I discuss with them sometimes, like, why do YouTube, you know, and a lot of people say, oh, you like the views and you like the you know, the money and this and that, but really, like, at the end of the day, it's like you want to do it because you enjoy playing games and, you know, and telling stories. And I'll admit, when I was doing it previously, you know, you kind of forget that. You kind of forget that you do it for enjoyment and you do it for the video games, you know. There's this thing about YouTube, as far as progressing and hitting milestones and that kind of thing. You sometimes that becomes more important to you than enjoying the games and that kind of thing. So I've wanted to get back into it. I'm probably going to be doing I wanted to get back into the Age of Empires stuff. It's cool. A couple different viewers asked me, are you going to continue with the Age of Empires campaign? You know, I was doing campaigns for Age of Empires Definitive Edition, the first one, and they've released definitive editions for all three games now: Age of Empires 1, 2, and 3. So somebody asked me, am I going to do that? And I was like, you know what? I wasn't really intending to, but actually I went back in and I played a game, and it was really enjoyable. I actually kind of forgot how much I liked recording and stuff. So I think I will probably continue on with that series. And then I decided to start up another Empire Total War series. I'm playing as a minor faction. I'm not gonna tell you which one though. You guys are gonna have to see that for when the video goes live. So yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to you know, maybe, I don't know, like I'm gonna be doing it regularly, but you know, I wanted to play some more games and that kind of thing. Let's see. Martino says your Bohemia EU4 game was awesome. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. You know, and probably, I don't know if I'll play any Paradox games, to tell you the truth. I'll be honest with you guys. Since I stopped doing YouTube, like, you know, a couple years ago, I have not played a Paradox game. I have not touched EU4. I haven't touched, you know, Hearts of Iron 4. I haven't even touched Victoria 2. Like, as soon as my YouTube stuff stopped being a regular thing for me, that was probably almost 2 years ago. Maybe even more than that, actually. No, I think 2 years ago, but maybe even, yeah, maybe even further back. I have not played a Paradox game. Like, it's just, that's what it is, you know. I think I may have just played them too much to really be interested in it. I don't know. I don't know if I'll play any more Paradox games. They don't interest me. They're not fun for me anymore. I know a few other YouTubers that previously used to play EU4 campaigns and now they don't. A couple are friends of mine, a couple are not. There's just something about it. I don't know. I mean, EU4, I think I'm kind of done with that. And I know Crusader Kings 3 is the big thing. I've never really had a chance to try it or play it. I'm just not interested as much in those kinds of game mechanics, I don't know though. I'd be willing to give Crusader Kings 3 a try. But, I'm just not, I don't know. E4 just doesn't interest me, and like Victoria 2 is also awesome, but it is such a dated game. It can be difficult to, I mean, it's a good game. Don't get me wrong for what it is. It's just, it's so old. I do notice that it generates a lot of interest on the Let's Plays though. I mean, I still think the Confederate States of America playthrough that I did for Victoria 2, that is like one of the most popular Let's Plays I think I've done on my channel, like in general. Let's see, Brantman19, he's a good friend of mine. He says, what people forget about that is we as creators tend to set ourselves to a higher expectation than we should, and we burn out to a point that ending is a very viable alternative than recording for fun. That's absolutely true. I could not have said it better myself. There is this, I don't like to call it this, kind of in public, but there is this sort of rat race mentality among YouTubers. You always have to be hitting this next milestone, hitting this thing, this next sort of big mountaintop goal and shrine that you have to get to. You always keep going up and keep going up and keep going up. And you kind of lose sight of what it was meant to be for originally. You stop having fun at a point. It happens to so many people, especially on YouTube. It happens to so many YouTubers. There are a lot of YouTubers you can look around that simply just stopped one day because it was just better for their health and for their life. Let's see, William Farmer, yo, how's it going? I'm good, man. How you doing? He asks, are you still in school or are you finished? I'm actually still in school. So I don't know if you guys know, but I started a master's in accountancy program. I'm from the United States, so I'm in a master's in accountancy program. And so I'm actually about halfway through the program now. So I'm going to school still. So that's cool. And I figured I'd do maybe YouTube again, on the side, just kind of something fun, something to get the creative energies out. Plus, and what I really like is I like history and I like talking about history. I don't work in any sort of profession that has history involved in it, maybe a little bit, but nothing that I get to actively talk about, politics and warfare and geography and economy and, or economics, and political economics and that kind of stuff. I don't have any sort of, there's no outlet for that kind of stuff for me. And I love history. I mean, honestly, so I went to school for political science, which does involve history and that kind of thing. There is a part of me that thinks if I lived a different life, I might have gone back for history and maybe even pursued further education in history, So yes, William Farmer, to answer that question, I am still in school. It's not an undergraduate program. It's a graduate school program, but let's see. Brentman19 says, if you aren't putting out the best or even top tier content, you can ask, why am I even doing this? And then games are no fun. Yes, I absolutely find that to be true. It's a balance between, I want to put out good content that people enjoy and and actually I'll take that back. It's not necessarily a balance because what videos do well on YouTube and what you enjoy making are going to be two different things. And I think that's the crux of it. What you enjoy doing, the videos you want to make may not be successful on YouTube. People just don't enjoy watching them that much, or they don't, become these viral videos that, get spread out into the YouTube algorithm. And I think there is a certain part, if you lose your perspective on that, you will end up not enjoying what you used to enjoy. It's a really weird thing that occurs. For me, YouTube is not some career for me. I think I'm actually lucky that it's not. I know, I have a couple friends that it is, and it's hard. It's really hard because they lose motivation. They have to keep making YouTube videos to put bread on the table. And that's really difficult. It's not easy when it's your job. You have to do it. And yet why did you start? Was you just enjoyed doing what you were doing, Let's see. Pirate Island says, how long has it been? I think like 2 years, maybe since I've really, I technically uploaded a campaign a year ago, last July. And it's funny because that campaign did pretty good, as they normally do. The new EU4 expansions and stuff usually do pretty good. But like I've not been a regular sort of YouTuber doing stuff all the time for like 2 years, you know, 2.5, 3 years. And see, Brantman says, I'm done being a downer, but I feel like Adrian and I are both coming back from hiatus from the longest time because of the same things. Had to give my 2 cents. Nah, Brantman, I feel that, man. I really feel that. Well, and like I said, man, you know, Brantman is one of those people that I've discussed these things with. You know, we've talked at length about these things. Motivation, you know, success. Why are we doing this? Do we enjoy it? You know, do we keep doing this? And he's been kind of that staple for me in that he's always held, dude, if the video doesn't do good, who cares? If you enjoy playing the game and talking about history and playing the battles and showing people, you know, a story, showing people an adventure, a journey, that's what's important. You know, who cares about the views? Who cares about the likes? Not everybody's going to like what I put out. That's fine, you know, but I think at the end of the day, if I want this to be an outlet and I enjoy playing the games that I do and making the videos that I do, I think that's what's important. And your viewers, I'll tell you right now, a lot of people don't think this. Your viewers will tell when you're not enjoying what you're doing. Your viewers will know when you don't like what you do. It's inevitable because I like to believe I do this. Some people find it entertaining. Some people have fun with it. They get to have the same experiences that I do when they watch my videos. I know when I watch Let's Plays, I'm experiencing something alongside who I'm watching, you know? So right now I have a friend called Mr. Smart Donkey. He does a lot of Total War stuff. I love his Let's Plays. He is hilarious. He gets really frustrated sometimes, you know, but that's okay. Cause most of the time he's hilarious and he's extremely entertaining. I love being able to watch his Let's Plays and have this experience alongside him. That's really what it feels like. And I think I forgot that in a lot of my videos, you know? And so I'd like to restart that maybe in some form, you know? Let's see. Pirate Island says, is there a possibility that you might upload a new EU4 Let's Play? Honestly, I don't know. I'm going to say right now it's unlikely. Just because I don't enjoy the game anymore. You know, if I was to upload an EU4 Let's Play right now today, it would probably almost exclusively be for views and sort of exposure rather than me actually wanting to play the game. I just don't enjoy the game anymore. I enjoy the time period that it's set in. I enjoy a lot of the stuff that you experience in the game. You know, some of the historical events, some of the historical people, that kind of thing. But as far as playing the actual game, I don't enjoy it anymore. It's just not one of those things that, you know, we all have our hobbies. You play a game or this and that, you know. I haven't touched EU4 since I stopped doing YouTube. I haven't touched any Paradox game. I don't even keep up with Paradox people anymore, you know. I don't watch the live streams that they do. I don't keep up with the news releases. Nobody's reached out to me about getting back into it. I really don't think so. I think it's pretty unlikely. You know, and that's probably gonna piss some people off, which is fine. You know, I don't really care anymore. You know, let's see. Keith Caldwell says, how about Stellaris? Definitely not. It's unfortunate. Stellaris was a miss for me. You know, some people called it like an EU4 in space. I think it was a weird amalgamation of space games, and it just didn't hit right for me. You know, when I think of a good space game, I think of Sins of a Solar Empire. That was one of the best space strategy games ever. I think it still is. I actually think there's not much that competes with Sins of a Solar Empire as far as the best space game ever. I also really enjoy Star Wars Empire at War. That was a really, really good series, especially for space battles and space games. And I think it was because they captured both the essence of Star Wars and they balanced between, you know, ground battles, you know, space battles and all that kind of stuff. They did a really good balance of stuff. Stellaris just felt very confused. A lot of different mechanics that didn't really seem to mesh well together. I know a lot of people play it now. I think I just never enjoyed it. Just wasn't my thing. It didn't, you know, didn't stick with me. Let's see. William Farmer says, I got burnt out on EU4 and then turned to Imperator Rome after the massive update and then CK3. I tried to get back into EU4 and it was dead on arrival as far as satisfaction. Dude, I totally know what you mean. And I haven't tried CK3. I haven't tried Crusader Kings 3. Imperator Rome, honestly, was also another really big miss for me. I thought I would enjoy it more, but it felt like such a confused product, you know, it felt like an EU4 Victoria 2, like, baby. You know, with like some CK3, you know, thrown in there, or CK, you know, Crusader Kings thrown in there. And it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't mesh well for me. It wasn't that enjoyable, you know. I mean, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I've played Imperator Rome on my own that didn't have to do with a video. You know, it's not one of those enjoyable experiences for me. There's something about the world and the gameplay that it's not enjoyable. You know, it's not. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. It just didn't work for me. You know. Let's see. Brentman19 says I tried to do a few EU4 campaigns at my restart, and because it wasn't top tier content, I kicked it to the curb. Love watching it, just can't play it. Back to RTS and turn based for me for a while. Dude, I hear that. I hear that pretty hard. I agree with that myself. Like, I would rather play RTS like Age of Empires or StarCraft, and I probably will restart that StarCraft campaign as well. I would rather do that or turn based like Total War than go back to EU4. Or any of the Paradox Grand Strategy games. There's something about them that just doesn't interest me anymore. You know, I think I don't know what it is. Let's see, Keith Caldwell. I like the BioShock series you did. I really appreciate hearing that, man. Honestly, it's funny you mentioned that. The BioShock series, that was one of the most enjoyable gameplay experiences that I've ever had, was the BioShock series. That campaign and that series, BioShock, to me is very personal for me. I love those games. Between I would say the two video games that really made me love video gaming, well, maybe three, would be StarCraft, Half-Life 2, and BioShock. That game, the BioShock series and BioShock, are very personal to me. It was really a very enjoyable experience to play those games. I really appreciate you saying that. I have a friend, a YouTuber friend, Mr. Smart Donkey. You know, I call him Mr. Smart Donkey. His name is Mark, but you know, I call him Mr. Smart Donkey. Mr. Smart Donkey. You know, he told me, he's like, dude, I don't watch your Let's Plays, but I watched every single episode, every minute of your BioShock stuff. And he's just like, it's some of your best work ever. It really made me feel good that he loves that and he wanted to experience that with me. Like, that was really cool. So Keith, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a lot. Let's see. Ivo Petrov says, hey, Adrian, I'm glad you're streaming. How's it been going for you? Are you ready to play any new playthroughs? Yeah, man, I'm doing good, man. I think I am going to do some new playthroughs. I'm going to probably restart the Age of Empires campaign that we were doing. I actually have a lot of interest in that campaign, which is interesting. The first campaign of the Age of Empires Definitive Edition campaigns we did is like one of my more popular videos that I've ever released, which is interesting. So we're going to get back into Age of Empires probably. I'm going to go through 1, 2, and 3. And then I know Age of Empires 4 is supposed to release this year. We'll probably get into that maybe. That'd be kind of cool. And then I'm also doing a Empire Total War campaign. I'm going to be playing as one of the minor factions that's usually not playable. That has been one hell of a campaign, I'll tell you guys that much. I think if you like history, though, and you enjoy Total War, you'll like it. Not a lot of people do Empire Total War playthroughs anymore, so I think it'll have some interest. A lot of people do Darth mod. I did not play with Darth mod on this campaign because it's very buggy. It introduces a lot of kind of weird mechanics into the game. So, yeah. So we'll definitely do some more playthroughs. I've got some stuff kind of lined up. I don't know when I'm going to release things yet, though. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm thinking maybe next week. If you guys think that would be a good idea, I don't know. Let's see. William Farmer says, what's your biggest donation to date on here? I think, if I remember correctly, William Farmer, I think it was you. I think you donated like $50 one time. I forget when I was doing it. It might have been during like a milestone live stream, you know, like we hit like, 25,000 subs or something. I think it was you. I think actually you were the, if I remember correctly, I think you were the biggest donation. Yeah, like $50. I really appreciate that, man, by the way. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it was you. Let's see. Brantman says, Imperator was and is so bad. Paradox was throwing codes at me left and right without asking, but I just couldn't keep that. Sadly, wanted that much promotion, but couldn't spend the time to improve it early on. I feel that pretty hard. Imperator just wasn't, it was a miss for me. It wasn't that enjoyable for me. I just, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. It just felt very confused. It did not feel like a very focused game. For me, if you added more population mechanics, holy shit, William, what the hell, man, $100. Good luck at school and good memory. Dude, I fucking appreciate that. Holy shit. Thank you, William, dude. I really appreciate that, man. You're a good dude. I appreciate that. Good luck at school. Thanks, man. I will get an A+ just for you, dude. I appreciate that. Like I said, William Farmer, I'm like, dude, I think it is you, dude. I'm pretty sure you've given me money before. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. Seriously. It means a lot to me, dude. Let me know. Let me know what campaigns you want to see, man. I'll do a campaign just for you. How's that sound? Yeah, Imperator Rome. Imperator Rome. It's a confused game. If they added more population mechanics, maybe took out the whole character thing, and maybe doubled down on the EU4 style mechanics, it would be a good game. And EU4 set in Imperator Rome's timeline, that's not a bad game. It's not. That's a good game. But that's not what Imperator Rome is. And I think Paradox is confused about that. An EU4 set in Imperator Rome, or even more preferable, a Victoria 2 set in Imperator Rome's timeline, that's not a bad game. That's a good game. You just have to make it work. And that's not what Imperator Rome is. I think that's what it wanted to be, but it's not. Let's see. Simon Celeb says, I enjoy Imperator quite a lot. I only bought it after the update. That's fair. That's fair. I've played Imperator Rome since the beginning. I don't think the game's improved that much, but if you enjoy it after the most recent update, that's fair. Yeah, that's cool. You know, I mean, and it's okay to have different opinions, you know. I mean, you enjoy what you enjoy, I enjoy what I enjoy, and that's what it is, you know. Lately I've been playing a lot of Total War. I'll admit I play a lot of Total War lately. Most of the time Empire, some Napoleon, you know. Napoleon's got its problems actually, which is kind of funny. I think Empire is actually the more superior game, which is interesting. Let's see, Brandman19, any interest in restarting our podcast? You know, it's funny, man. I actually would not mind it. I want to start slow. Let's talk about that a little later. I want to start kind of slow right now. I don't want to just jump back into stuff, you know, and make it a super regular thing. I don't really know how this is going to all go down, so we'll play it by ear. I really did enjoy that podcast though. And it's funny you mentioned that, Brant, because I may even be able to get one other person involved with the podcast. He's mentioned that he's wanted to do one, so we'll see about that one. Let's see. Ivo says, cool, I'll be waiting for the new videos then. Before I forget, did you get into law school as planned? I actually did not go to law school. I thought about it, and then the cost completely turned me off of it, so I decided to go into accounting instead. Yeah. I wanted to go to law school, but honestly, it is extremely expensive. It's very competitive in the United States, and what you'll probably also hear from a lot of attorneys is there's no jobs. You know, you graduate from law school, there's no jobs. And if there are jobs, they're not good. You know, you can go into law school for 3 years, right? It's 3 years after undergrad. You can go into law school and get into 150, 200,000 in debt just to pay the tuition and fees for the school, right? Textbooks, tuition and fees, not to mention room and board, right? I mean, you're lucky if you live with your parents or something. And then you graduate, and unless you're in one of the big corporate firms that does a lot of like criminal defense, you know, criminal litigation, civil litigation, a lot of stuff like that, torts, that kind of thing, law school is just not worth it. It's extremely expensive. You know, you work 80 to 100-hour weeks. You know, if you're in a big corporate firm, you might make, you know, 180,000, 150,000, but you are worked to the bone. And then the other opposite end of the spectrum is you find a government job of some kind. They're usually pretty competitive. And then you have to deal with, you know, government politics and that kind of thing. And they don't always really pay that great. I've seen attorney positions here just around where I live. Some of the smaller ranges are like 68,000 a year, which in US dollars is not bad, but for somebody with law school debt is not good. You know, I've seen some decent state government positions as attorneys, entry level for like 100 grand a year. That's better, you know, but like I said, they're very competitive. There's a lot of people that compete for those positions. So law school just wasn't my thing. I eventually got into accounting. You know, I learned that I liked it. I really enjoyed it. So yeah. Saeed Ali Basutnastu says, are you in school right now? I am. Yeah, I'm in a master's in accountancy program. I'm about halfway through. I graduate this December. I guess it's more than halfway now, isn't it? That's like, wow. It's like 8 months away. I'm more than halfway done now. That's cool. Yeah, William Farmer. Yeah, he's getting his master's in accounting. Yeah. Let's see. Mikkel Gregerson says, feels like Imperator Rome is just an amalgamation of all the Paradox games. I feel that. Yeah, that's pretty accurate for me. That's pretty accurate. Let's see. Pirate Island said, if only Paradox released Victoria 3. Yeah. You know, and it's funny because a lot of people say, oh, you know, that'll be their best game. I really do agree with that. I really do think Victoria 3 is actually what people want and what will make them a lot of money and will kind of solidify them as, I mean, they I guess they are now one of the preeminent strategy developers in the world. It's just Victoria 3 would be like their magnum opus. It's like their masterpiece. You know, they've tried a lot of different stuff. They've tried Stellaris, they've tried Imperator Rome, you know, Hearts of Iron 4. I'm not that big of a fan of Hearts of Iron 4. Some people enjoy it more than I do. But man, Victoria 3, I would kill somebody for that game. I'll tell you right now. That would be Paradox Development Studios' masterpiece. And I think, truthfully, I think it's why they don't want to touch it. They don't want to touch Victoria 3 because I think they feel we will never hit the expectation of greatness that people expect of that. Victoria 2 is, in my opinion, still their best game ever. Their best game ever made. And that's saying a lot. Victoria 2, in my opinion, is their masterpiece still. They don't want to try and follow that up in a way that maybe they can't. They don't know how, you know, which I understand. I mean, you know, the Victoria franchise is loved by a lot of different people. It's a really interesting, unique time period. It's got really interesting mechanics. It'd be hard to tackle that in the modern day. I wouldn't even mind like a Victoria 2 remaster. Just get me a little bit of, you know, touch-ups here and there. And that game, I'll play that game all day. You know, let me know if you guys want to see more Victoria 2. I mean, for you guys, I'll play it. I'll play Victoria 2 for you guys. Let's see. Yeah, Brantman says, let's talk later. Sure. Keith Caldwell, Total War Warhammer 2 or 3. You know, it's funny, neither. I enjoy Total War games. I don't enjoy the fantasy Total War games. I haven't played Total War Warhammer 2 in probably since it's been released. You know, I bought it. I literally own all the DLCs. I've probably never played it more than 10, 15 hours, 20 hours. Me and my friend, Mr. Smart Donkey, we did like a co-op campaign or a versus campaign. Actually, it was a versus campaign. That was pretty fun. Besides that though, I can't imagine that game being enjoyable not playing without him. I just don't enjoy it. It's just not the same. At least historical Total War, I can talk about stuff, right? Historical events, politics, geography, you know, historical people, wars that happened, when they started, when they ended, you know, I have that context. Because I don't enjoy the fantasy stuff, I just don't have the context for that. You know, it's just not enjoyable for me. I need the historical stuff to ground me in there. So yeah, the fantasy ones, I just, you know, just don't enjoy them. I just don't enjoy them. Let's see. Nerdwagon says, just find your channel for Victoria 2. Do you think Paradox will announce Victoria 3? And if so, what's the most needed updated feature? Well, first off, Nerdwagon, thank you for finding my channel. I really appreciate you being here, man. I have not uploaded in a while, as you could probably tell, but I'm looking to get back into it. So I appreciate that. I don't know when Paradox will announce Victoria 3. I really don't. I don't know. I cannot say. I don't know if they want to tackle the game. It might be in development. I don't know anybody who knows anything about the inside development, you know, cycle of Paradox. Yeah, I can't say. What's the most updated feature? That is an interesting question. For me, I do feel maybe the user interface, but I want to even take that back. I want to maybe say the military system. For me, raising troops and fighting wars and stuff in Victoria 2 is a little cumbersome. You know, if they had the fluidity of like EU4's military system, right? Infantry, cavalry, artillery, you know, sieging stuff, that kind of thing, I think it'd be better. Yeah, maybe the military system, the warfare system. I don't know though. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to think about that one. Most updated, maybe the UI. I actually don't find the UI to be that bad. To be fair, I think then again, I played the game a lot. I can kind of get around it. But I would say for a newcomer, probably the user interface would be better to fix. Now, to be fair, if you guys have seen Imperator Rome's user interface, I don't know if I trust Paradox to do the best job with it. You know, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Let's see, Nerdwagon says, I agree with the Victoria 2 remaster. Honestly, I'd be cool with that. A Victoria 2 remaster, you know, you update the user interface for bigger resolutions, you know, tweak a couple things here and there. I will pay $30 for that. I really will. I mean, shit. The Creative Assembly team, they're remastering Total War Rome, which came out in 2004. You know, and it's like, dude, if they can do that and people seem to really enjoy it, people are looking forward to it, why not remaster Victoria 2? That's actually quite a more recent game, you know? I say do that. You know, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Let's see, Pirate Island says, Victoria 2 campaign would be incredibly awesome. I just don't know what country to play as. Yeah, that's the only thing. I don't know what country. You know, some of the most enjoyable Victoria 2 experiences I've probably ever had was Egypt and the Ottoman Empire. That was really, really fun. It's fun playing as those countries. Um, like I said, the game is a little cumbersome. So, you know, sometimes I get kind of tired of playing it because I have to, you know, work around stuff. But it's not bad. You know, it's not bad. I wouldn't mind doing some more Victoria 2. Out of any Paradox game, that's probably the one I'd be most likely to play. I probably won't touch anything else. No way. Let's see. Psycho Hubertus says, good to see you, Adrian. Waiting for new Paradox games videos. Yeah, man, I don't know, man. You might be waiting for a little bit. I don't know if I'll do any Paradox for a little while. I can't promise anything, to be honest. You know, I appreciate that, though. Thank you for coming by the stream. I just don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I cannot say if I'll play any more Paradox for a while. Victoria 2 would probably be the only game I'd play, you know. That's just me, though. Let's see. William Farmer says, I feel you on the debt. I was 200,000 plus in debt once I finished my dental program. Oh shit, dude. That's why I joined the military right after school to knock out 120,000 in loan repayment. School's ridiculous in price. I hear you on that, dude. Thank you for your service, by the way. And dude, yeah, I mean the student loan stuff, you know, I know people in the exact same position you just mentioned. You know, you get out of school, either medical school or law school. You know, you can't find a job, can't pay for this. I know a lot of people that went into the military. You know, they just started as a second lieutenant. They went to OCS or something, got a commission, you know, and that's what they did to literally get their feet on the ground and try and get some income coming in and that kind of thing. It's hard, you know. I cannot express what would happen to the United States if public universities had free tuition. I mean, well, not free tuition. I want to say universal tuition, you know, just like Europe, you know. I mean, the European countries, they got that right, is universal healthcare, universal tuition. Taking those costs off of the individual at the individual level, it's monumental, you know, as far as getting people education and not costing them an arm and a leg and hampering them with debt for the rest of their life. You know, it's interesting. You know, it makes a huge difference. Let's see. Brandman 19 says if Victoria 2 had the manpower military system from EU4, it would make it easier to enjoy it instead of hoping for pops that are military and having to focus on that. Well, you know, and it's interesting you mentioned that. I actually really do enjoy the Victoria 2 manpower system, and I'll tell you why, is because it forces you to, one, be cautious about wars, right? Because literally, when we're talking about manpower in EU4, it's just kind of this abstract sort of, this is how many men we have over time to serve in our army, whether they're conscripts or volunteers, right? But in Victorian 2, they actually have a real impact. Any person who's a soldier is not, say, a farmer, is not a laborer, isn't a capitalist, you know? And in my opinion, that's the beauty of the system, is you have to make trade-offs. That's the best gameplay mechanic there is there is no one best answer. There's only trade-offs. You can have more of this, less of this, more of this, less of this. There is no, oh, this thing is always the best all the time. And that's sometimes my problem with the EU4. Getting, you know, manpower modifiers and focusing solely on getting huge manpower reserves to build up these massive armies, no matter what country you play as, that's advantageous, right? There's nothing wrong with having that, you know? And yet it's like, dude, that's not reality in the real world, right? If you have a heavily militarized country with a lot of your GDP being spent on military things, a lot of your active duty service people being, you know, 18, 19-year-old men, that means that those are students not in college. People not working in jobs, you know, construction workers not doing construction, police officers not working police. There's all these different pursuits that, you know, military age men can pursue. Victoria 2 forces you. Hey man, if you have more soldiers, you have less of everything else. That's a conscious thing you have to balance. That's what I really, really enjoy about the Victoria 2 system. And the pop system in general, that's what I think is the beauty of it. There's only trade-offs. You have to sacrifice one thing for another. There is no, this is best all the time, every day, you know? What I also like about it is the fact that it, especially because imperialism is a big thing during the Victoria 2 time period, right? You can't just recruit, say, you know, troops in South Africa to be regulars in your army there because nobody wants to be a soldier for you there, right? I mean, you have to recruit troops in Britain and send them to South Africa, you know, or, you know, if you're the United States and you have a revolt in the Philippines, you can't just raise Philippine troops. You have to make sure that people want to actually serve in your army and are willing to volunteer for your forces. You can't conscript people over there, you know, things like that. it forces you to deal with these strategic situations that real countries actually had to deal with. So, for example, in the Philippine-American War, I think it was from 1899 to 1903, right? The United States, really couldn't raise that many local Philippine troops. They had to bring over regular American forces from the United States, and it was a bastard. It was really expensive. It was time consuming. It wasn't really that popular, because nobody in the Philippines that was Filipino wanted to fight for the Americans. Nobody was up for that, I think they call it like the Philippine War of Liberation or something like that. I forget what it is, but it's really representative of there's a strategic problem here that you can't just solve by just, recruiting troops at this place with this abstract manpower pool and problem solved. It's like, nah, dude, in Victoria 2, you got to be more strategic than that. It's not that easy. You got to think differently about things. That's what I really enjoy about it. That's just me. Yeah, Bratman19, Victoria 2 CSA and a Golden Circle campaign. CSA was a great view generator. It seemed fun. Sweden into Scandinavia or Prussia to Germany would be fun to watch too. Yeah, I could do that. I'd be interested to try the Confederate States again. It's funny. I never mentioned to you guys. I think that campaign was demonetized because it had to do with the Confederate States. I never told you guys that. Let's see, Mr. 2071, Mr. Glad to have you back. Greetings from Saudi Arabia. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming by the stream. Damn, Saudi Arabia. That's pretty far. That's far away, dude. Let's see. Tempo says, hear me out. What if Victoria 3? Would you play it? Excuse me. Just saying, and also in Europe, at least in Italy, education is free up until university. You have to pay university taxes for some things. Let's see. Would I play Victoria 3? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. At least in Italy, education is free. Really, education is free up until university. You have to pay university taxes for some things. That's fair. I think I've heard of that. I don't think it's on anything of the scale of cost of the United States, though. So you get aid from the federal government here and the state governments here, but like, you don't necessarily pay taxes for university stuff, That's interesting. I didn't actually know that. I didn't know that. You guys have to pay. Education is free up until university. I've heard that university, at least for the first 4 years, is free in a lot of places. I don't know though. Maybe it's different per country. I can't say. I know Italy, unfortunately, has been having some financial problems lately. So let's see. Brandman says thoughts on GameStop. Oh, dude, that's been a whole thing. I'm not really a stock trader. I mean, I'm an accountant, so I know stocks, but I'm not going to tell you how to invest. But I think GameStop just said because of the equity that they've gained from the shorts and all that stuff, and the stock price going up, they've paid off like $219 million in debt. Yeah, GameStop is becoming a thing again. I guess they're trying to become more like Steam and like a Best Buy rather than just like a traditional GameStop as we know them in the past. I think they've also reorganized their corporate level management or something like that. I believe they replaced their CEO recently, and I think they're bringing on a few other new people to kind of change the direction of the company. Let's see. To cow goes moo. I like the name, dude. The cow goes moo. Sorry if you answered this already. Just joined. Have you tried Imperator since the 2.0 update? Before I found it unplayable after the update, I've really enjoyed it. I have tried it a little bit since the 2.0 update. It really didn't seem that much better to me. I didn't really enjoy it that much more than I did before. I don't really play it. Yeah. I mean, I've tried it. I've tried it. Let's see. William Farmer says, or the badass Punjab Kingdom. That's actually not a bad route to go. I could do that. Yeah. A Punjab Kingdom. That'd be kind of cool. Let's see. Bratman19 says, I doubt you're paying $9,000 a semester outside the US either. That's probably true. Yeah. Yeah. Damn, $9,000 a semester, huh? That's expensive up there. So the state school that I go to for my master's, I think it's $7,000 a semester, give or take a bit, So for me, my master's program is costing me about $24,000, and it's all online and it's asynchronous, right? So there's no like lectures that you have to be at. It's more so you do homework and you read the textbook and you take exams and then you get your grade. And for me, I mean, I'll tell you right now, guys, $24,000 for a master's program, all online in the United States from a reputable school or a reputable state institution, that's a good deal. Yeah, most master's programs are probably 30 to 40,000, and then in the higher end, they're probably like 45 to 60,000. So I got a good deal on my program, but that's just me. Let's see. Pravno Lis says hello from Serbia. Hey man, how you doing? Serbia, huh? That's cool, man. That's cool. That's pretty far, man. Let's see. William Farmer, have you ever heard of Geo-Political Simulator, the game? I have. You know, it's funny. I've actually played it before. I actually thought about doing a couple Let's Plays on it, and then I found out how to game the system. I found out how to game. I found out how to conquer the whole world in like an hour, and it's a totally legit. It's not a bug. It's not a cheat. It's just it's a feature of the game. You can conquer countries without any sort of problems at all, any sort of repercussions. I found out how to do that, and I was like, dude, that's a pretty big oversight. Let's see. Nerdwagon says, keep the good work, man. I'll keep working my way through your content, and good luck with school. I appreciate that, Nerdwagon. I appreciate that, man. Give me $5. I appreciate that. It means a lot. I'm trying to kind of see what videos I want to make and what campaigns, I want to try and play. There's a few different things that I'm interested in playing, so, but yes, I have heard of Geo-Political Simulator, the game. Let's see. Tempa says, yeah, you have to still pay for books and exams if you fail them too many times. Other than that, education is accessible, even for those who really can't work. Oh, okay. So that's to my understanding is that's more of what I've heard, that's more of what I've heard. Yeah. So, and that's the thing is education is accessible. I would say in a lot of parts of the United States, education is not accessible. Really, depending on where you go and where you live will determine if you can go to school or not. And it's not a grades thing, right? It's not a qualification thing. It's more of money. So for example, I live in California, and California is reputable for having really good sort of accessibility to education because of our educational systems here in California. We have the University of California system and the California State University system. And California is, I think, the wealthiest state in all of the United States. So we have a lot of money and resources with which to provide for education. I mean, you go to other states, I've heard some stuff in the Midwest and in the East, a lot of poor states. If you qualify for school there, but you don't have money, you can't go. There's not enough resources for the state governments to provide to people to go to college for that kind of thing. I know a lot of people that go into the military because they simply can't afford to go to college, and they want to do something. They get out of high school with really good grades. They're good workers, they're hard workers. And they want to advance themselves, but they can't go to college because they can't afford it. They go to the military, they enlist and they do their 8 years, and then you get the GI Bill and that kind of stuff. You get universal, or you get free college, Yeah, it's hard, man. Let's see. Brandman19 says, I think you might know my debt situation due to out-of-state costs now getting handled, but it'll be a slow process to pay off. Yeah, I hear that, man. Out-of-state college is this thing too. And the whole thing about out-of-state college is really, it's like, if I'm in California, I want to go to school in Washington. Their university system is designed to benefit people the most who live in our Washington residents. Even though I may be qualified to go there, I have to pay more because I'm out of state. I really do think a universal sort of tuition system would fix a lot of these sort of transaction costs that you have to go through. It's one of those things, and also international students is a big one. So, for example, where I went to undergrad, like 30% of the student population is international, right? Coming from other places outside the United States. And the thing is international students pay fat money to go here. A typical semester might be, I think it's like 8,000 or 9,000, 10,000 a semester, or a quarter. Sorry. No, actually I take that back. It's a little less than that. It's not as expensive. Yeah. It's not as expensive. How much is it? It might be more like 7 or 8 a quarter, because there's 3 quarters in a school year where I went to school. So it's like 7,000 a quarter, dude. Some of the international students pay like double that, like 14 or 15,000. So a regular American student would pay like 20,000 a year for school. An international student would pay like 45 or 50, 55. Not to mention room and board and stuff. And the universities, they use that to make money, right? The international students want to come here, and they're willing to pay top dollar. It's unfortunate, I wish there was more sort of equity in the price of education for everybody. Right now it feels a lot like a business. The tops, the top payers get to, come to the schools and that kind of thing. And if you can't afford to pay, you don't get to go. It's unfortunate. Let's see. Pirate Island says here in the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, I pay 14,000 per semester for a business bachelor's degree. Holy shit, dude, that's a lot. That is 20. That's what, 20,000 a year. Well, okay, per semester, because there's 2 semesters in a school year. 20,000 per semester for a business bachelor's degree. That is kind of a lot for an undergrad. Now, to be fair, I don't know the demand for business bachelor's degrees in the UAE, but I would say for here, that's expensive. Yeah, that's pretty expensive. I wouldn't recommend anybody go to a program here for that kind of cost. That's a lot. Because then if you're in school 4 years, right, 20,000 a year, I mean, that's $100,000 in debt. For a bachelor's degree, that's a lot. It's very expensive. Let's see. Chicago's Moose says, are you a Total War fan? Rome Total War Remastered is coming out. Yes, I am a Total War fan. I will probably play some Rome Remastered, actually. We'll see. I have a lot of Total War campaigns on the channel, and I'll be releasing one pretty soon. Yeah. Yeah. Sadonska says, the king has returned. EU4 when? Yeah, I don't know when, man. Can't tell you when. I don't think I'll play EU4 for a while, if ever. I don't know. I really don't. Zoxy says, Sweden. Yeah, man. You know, I wouldn't mind doing a Vittoria 2 Sweden campaign. That'd actually be kind of interesting. Yeah. Let's see. Brandman says, to fix the tuition problem, you have to fix the underlying cause, and that's nearly unlimited federal loans allowing colleges to balloon tuition costs. Then we can think about just paying everyone's, in my opinion. Yes, that's true. That's true. Because there's no downward pressure on prices, right? And the more the federal government is willing to give unlimited student loans for people up to the cost of attendance, there is no incentive for colleges to cut costs. And that's the thing is in a universal educational system, you take the cost of education and you disperse it individually across the population, kind of like insurance, right? If the cost was put on one person, it's really expensive. But like insurance, you take that cost and you spread it out over a large batch of people. It only costs them a couple cents each, you know? And that's the thing is you could probably tell universities, at least public universities, hey, this is your budget. You can't spend more than this. You have to make it work. You know, that I think is the benefit of universal systems. It's like insurance. You're just dispersing the individual cost that would be high for an individual person over a large portion of the population, whether they're taxpayers or, you know, students or, you know, whoever, right? Now, I don't know if that'll happen in the United States anytime soon, because that's the administrative overhead, the logistical implementation of something like that would be unfathomable. You know, I mean, it's incredible. Yeah, in Sweden, education is free. Yep. A lot of Europe is free. You guys have it good, man. Yeah. And I don't even like to say free. You know, I like to say universal, I guess. There's no individual cost to the individual. It does come out of taxes and stuff, you know. Someone pays for it. You know what I'm saying? There is no such thing as a free lunch. Let's see. I paid about $2,000 a semester for my IT degree. Now I work in a water plant. So get certifications. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, trade schools, I got nothing against trade schools. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people have stuff against trade schools and certifications and that kind of thing. Absolutely. Go to trade school. You know, become a welder, become a plumber, an electrician, a luthier. If that stuff interests you, do it, you know? And this is me coming as an accountant. So an accountant, it's interesting. In the United States, an accountant is known as a professional job. You know, if you're a licensed certified public accountant, a CPA, it's a professional job. And it's a highly respected certification. There's a lot that you can do with the CPA, even a degree, but especially the certification. So I want to go for the certification soon. But here's the other thing. And this is entirely true. I will tell you right now, this is the most true thing I've probably ever heard about the profession. Everybody calls accountants the blue collar workers of the white collar world. The blue collar workers of the white collar world. And I'll tell you right now, that is insanely true. No business, no sort of financial entity would exist without accountants. I'll tell you right now, they are essential. In the same way, your house would not function without a plumber, without an electrician, you know, HVAC. It's the exact same way. And so in my opinion, it's funny. Accountancy is more of a trade to me than a professional sort of job. I think the reason it is known as a professional job is because there's such a reliance of the public on accountants, you know. Much in the same way, I guess, that, you know, you rely on an electrician or an HVAC guy or a plumber. You know, they can't get it wrong, man. You know, you can't get sewage wrong, or else your house is gonna flood. You know, it's interesting. It's an interesting kind of perception. I don't know, but I'll tell you, working firsthand in accounting, that phrase accountants to the blue collar workers of the white collar world is true. It's so true. Let's see. Pirate Island says, oh, Zoxy says you get paid to study in Sweden. That's pretty interesting. I understand that though, to be honest. You know, I really do. Let's see. Pirate Island says in the UAE, business degrees are very valuable and competitive. Oh, that's cool. No wonder you play a lot. Yeah, no wonder you pay a lot. If it's valuable and desirable, I say do it. If you can get a job, absolutely do it. You know. Mike Oxwell says, do you no longer like E4? Not really. No, I don't. Let's see. Pravno says, here in Serbia, it's 1,000 or less per year. Let's see. Dude, Saranska says, dude, you're who I watched to learn E4. You got to give me some E4. I loved hearing you be like, holy shit, what's going on in the Balkans? That's wild. It's funny. Izzy Brandman says, I'll give you more of my take on the opinion on the tuition stuff when we get to the podcast again. Mike Oxwell says, in my years from university, it is 2,000 or less per year. Okay. Tempa says, just want to let you know you are one of my favorite YouTubers just because you play so much Victoria 2. I appreciate that, man. Let's see. Brandman19 says, IT is the bottom bitches with the accountants. See you at the water cooler, friend. Dude, that's so true. It's so true. I'll tell you right now, man, your IT people are your best friends. If you work in any sort of corporate environment, your IT people become good friends with your IT people. Seriously. They're your best friends. I appreciate that, Tempest. I do love Victoria 2, honestly. I know a lot. I don't think anybody plays it anymore, really. I really do enjoy Victoria 2. It's very enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable game for me. Let's see. Mike Oxmal says, not free here in Ireland. It's 3,000 a year for citizens, 6,000 for overseas, as the government pays 3,000 out of 6. 3,000 euros and 6,000 euros for overseas? That's pretty cheap. I know it's not free, but that's pretty cheap. You know, that sounds pretty reasonable for what I would think. Yeah. Let's see. Saranska says, the water plant, I work 20-hour shifts some days, and I got my degree to work on databases. Sometimes you end up with a degree in one field, still end up working in another. It's true. I mean, hey, man, I got a degree in political science. I work in accounting, you know, and that's my route. I'm going to be an accountant. You know, that's what I do. So yeah, I get you completely, you know, and I get the long hours too. You do what you got to do. Yeah. Let's see. Kitty Cat Samurai says, Adrian, are you going to play the new Rome Remastered? If so, which campaign or which faction campaign? I probably will. It releases, I think, in a couple weeks. I think so. I probably will. And oh, I meant to actually, that's right. I meant to, give me 1 second, guys. I meant to share this. I meant to share this actually, yeah, on our Discord. I forgot to. Oh, here's my cat. You guys see my cat? Was that me? No, that baby. Dude, this cat, he licks people. So I can like pet him. Watch this. He'll lick me. Do you see this? Do you see this? Me. Oh, look at me. His name is Lou. His name is Lou. Come here, baby. There you go. He is so hungry, dude. He's the hungriest cat I've ever known. Like literally, dude. We'll wake up at like 6 in the morning. The butt ass crack at dawn. Okay, this cat will sit on our bed next to us and then come lay on our head right here because he's hungry. He'll wake us up, dude. Every day, dude. He's my alarm clock, dude. I swear, man. Okay, getting back to Kitty Cat's question. So I will probably play Rome Remastered. You know, I really want to do a Pontus campaign. I've wanted to start off with Pontus, so that might be the first thing. Yeah. Saranska says, I'm trying to learn Victoria 2. Guess I need to go back to some of your old videos to learn. Saranska, I have, let me see if I can find it real fast. I have a Victoria 2 tutorial campaign. Let me see if I can show you where it is. I played as Brazil. So yeah, so I have a Victoria 2 tutorial campaign. And it's a little long-winded. I kind of really take my time. Yeah. I really take my time with it. There you go. So yeah, so I do have a tutorial campaign. I really take my time just talking about different stuff, you know, and I only know the game from my play experience, but I did a tutorial campaign if you're interested in that. Let's see. Tagago's Moose says, I'm doing an accelerated master's program, so I can get a master's cheaper and quicker than normal. 5 years for bachelor's and a master's. Yes, dude. Those accelerated master's programs are killer. And the thing is, sometimes the schools you go to for those programs will give you the master's and the bachelor's for the price of a bachelor's. You know, you don't pay more for having that extra degree. Those are killer programs. If you could find some of those, oh man. I heard a story of this one kid. He was part of an accounting program, a bachelor's and master's accelerated program, fully paid, full ride, and he ended up not doing it. He actually, I think he went to the military or something like that. And all power to him, you know, different strokes for different folks. But it's just, dude, that's a huge thing to get a bachelor's and a master's for free. You know, that's, if you could find a program like that, seriously, do it. You know, they're worth it. Master's degrees are really becoming very desirable now because bachelor's, just, there's a lot of people that have a bachelor's degree now. It obviously depends on what field you're working in. So like in accounting, a bachelor's is fine. But then again, there's a shortage of accountants anyway. You know, there's not a lot of people going into accountancy programs right now. It's kind of seen as one of those, I don't know. I don't know if it's the hours or the reputation of accounting or something like that. It is a really useful degree and a really useful skill to learn is accounting. And there's just a shortage of people going into accounting. They prefer other stuff. So for example, at my university, right? And this is just anecdotal, but at my university, the #1 degree is psychology. That's by far the #1. I think #2 is like mechanical engineering or something like that, computer engineering, some crap. You know, political science is like #7 or 8. I think our accounting program is maybe number like 6. You know, it's not really that far up there. It might be different at other schools though. I know some schools where accounting is a #1 degree. You know, it just kind of depends on where you are. Let's see. In Germany, Ivo says, in Germany, I paid 365 euros a semester, and that included a ticket to all public transportation for the period. Damn, that is beast. That is sick, dude. That's hella cool. Let's see. Mike Oxbow says, do you like Crusader Kings? I'm not the biggest fan of Crusader Kings, to be honest. I'll play it, you know, I'm willing to play it. That's fine. It's just, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I've never really been into that, you know. Let's see. Brandman says, I got my degree in history to work in IT and business growth development. You can apply at least one thing for most degrees to any field. I do think that's true. And if anything, you know, as an accountant, I mean, there's studies of what degrees are meant to signal to employers. And that's really what it is getting a degree and saying, hey, I've worked hard enough to earn this, is just a signal this person possesses certain qualities, certain traits. You know, they can, you know, do assignments on time and, you know, show up to lecture and crap like that. You know, it's a signaling thing. What you actually learn in your education can vary widely, you know. I mean, for example, in accounting, most bachelor's programs, people really pretty much say, you know, you haven't learned that much. You learned the foundations. Really, you're going to learn on the job. That's where the information is going to stick. I can't say whether or not that's true or not, just because I didn't have an undergraduate accounting degree. I will admit though, working in the field and having the information be real and you work in it in the real world makes a huge difference. You know, I would honestly probably prefer somebody with work experience and no degree than maybe the guy with a degree who thinks he knows everything and hasn't worked in the real world in the profession. You know, I know a lot of people that don't work in accounting or that work in accounting that don't have a degree that know a lot about it. You know, I don't know. That's just me though. That's just me. That's just anecdotal. Brightman says, well, he's got the cat onwards to 1 million views and subs it is. Marissa Ringwood says, Marissa. What's going on, girl? How you doing? He has gotten so big. Yes, he has. He's a fat cat, dude. He's like, I think we took him to the vet the other day. He's like 15 or 16 pounds, I think. No, I think it was 15 pounds. I think it was like 15.5 pounds. He's a fat cat, dude. I think he's almost bigger than Jeffrey, which is kind of crazy. Jeffrey's my other cat. It's a Rickinator9 says, but I don't want to play Pontus. What's going on, Rick? How you doing, brother? It's good to see you, man. It's really good to see you. It's been a while since I've talked to Rick. Yeah. It's been a while since I've talked to Rick, man. We gotta touch base, man. Seriously. Oh, man. Let's see. My friend Cucumber's also streaming. You what, mate? You what? Let's see. Anything else going on here? Quacker's all. I think I know this guy. I swear, dude. Quacker's all. Is he a YouTuber? I think he is, actually. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, Vicky 3 win. Who knows, man? You know, and it's funny. I'd like to maybe someday make inroads with. I'd like to maybe make inroads with Paradox again and kind of ask them, like, are you guys planning to do Victoria 3 at all? I mean, you know, and it's interesting because, yeah, I don't know, man. Quack is a YouTuber, right? That's what I thought. I thought he was. Yeah, let me go ahead and I'm gonna add him to. I'm gonna give him a role. I thought he was, if I remember correctly. I used to have a few other people in here. I think Hadrian used to be here. I'm not sure if he is anymore though. I kind of fell off the face of the earth. I think Chewy used to be in here as well. I'm not sure if he still is. I don't think so. I would see him if he was. Yeah. You know, I don't push the Discord too much, you know. I probably should. I don't push it too much, you know. So let's see. Soranska says, you know, since you disappeared, I started watching ChewyShoot, and he said that once he spoke to you and you said you probably weren't coming back. That night I cried myself to sleep. Yeah, you know, I've talked to Chewy. He's a cool guy. He's just, you know, he's more into EU4 and I'm just kind of not. I've kind of backed away from EU4. You know, he does a lot of EU4 content. He's a cool guy. Chewy's cool. If you're looking for EU4, go watch Chewy. He's a cool dude. I'm not into the game anymore. You know, it's just not kind of my thing anymore. I've probably played it too much. I've really probably played Chewy or EU4 too much. So Chewy's a cool dude. Go check him out. Yeah. Yeah. Vesnix von Leben says, ugh, nice to hear from you again. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Brickinator9 says, I'm doing good, man. Slid to a new job, a software engineer at the Navy. Dude, I saw that. I saw your post on LinkedIn, man. I saw that you were working for like the fucking the Dutch Department of Defense. I was like, holy shit, that's sick. Dude, good job, dude. I'm proud of you, bro. Fuck me, man. That's awesome. Let's see. Rick9 says, in terms of Paradox, I think U4 has gotten very stale lately. All they really adding is a few modifiers and mission trees these days. Dude, honestly, you couldn't have said it better myself. You know, and I get it. There's a lot of sandbox stuff to do, and there's different countries to play, and there's a lot of openness. It's just, for me, it's kind of the same, you know, same steps to take every time. You build your army, you get big enough, you take over other countries, and then you do what you want to do, and eventually you win. You know, it's just kind of the same sort of rigmarole. You know, the Ottomans are always getting really big. France gets really big. You know, Austria gets pretty big sometimes. You know, Muscovy's always there in the East. It's just the same stuff. It's never really that variable, you know? So yeah, man, I get it, dude. I get it, dude. Let's see. Brandman19 says, I think a lot of the Discord folks went to Chewy's Discord. Yeah, probably. Because, you know, he plays U4. That's what a lot of my fan base likes, is U4. So I get it, dude. Yeah. I agree with you, Rick. U4 has gotten very stale. Chicago's Muse says, are you a Stellaris fan? Not really. Yeah, unfortunately not. Yeah, Sadonska says, if you're not happy playing EU4, then don't play it. Play what makes you happy. It makes me happy to hear you play happy. I appreciate that, man. I really do. I appreciate that. I'm hoping to have that perspective, you know? Because like I said, the views and stuff and the money and this and that, it can be a big motivator in why people do YouTube. As much as they say they want to create content that is something that they enjoy. It's not always like that, you know? But now I really am like, I want to just play stuff that I like, that I enjoy. I want to experience things and have people join me for the experience. That's why it's a let's play. Really, before, it kind of just felt like I was doing it because I had to do it, you know? It's just one of those things. I don't know. Let's see. Mike Oxbow says, what was the longest campaign in a strategy game? One of my longest campaigns? I don't know. What do you mean? One of my longest campaigns, or what is one of the longest campaigns just in general? You might have to update me on that, Mike. Let's see. Rin Habibi says, "Are you planning to post videos again, or is this sort of like an update?" It's kind of both. I kind of do want to do some more videos. So right now I'm recording an Age of Empires campaign and an Empire Total War campaign. So, and then I think I'm gonna jump on a co-op campaign in Shogun 2 next week with a friend of mine. So I've got a few things lining up. I don't know when I'm gonna start releasing videos though. I think maybe next week. Well, actually, you guys tell me. You guys tell me, when do you want new videos? You know, I mean, I've got an Age of Empires thing lined up and some Total War. When do you guys want to start seeing stuff? Like tomorrow, next week, now? You know, what are you guys thinking about? Let's see. Brightman says, but E4 just needs flavor to be fun for the most part. Fleshing out the areas that don't get played can be fleshed out more. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, man. I agree with that 100%. Let's see. Mike Oxbow says, March of the Eagles win. Man, March of the Eagles is a good game, dude. I really am very sad. I keep telling Paradox they need to do a March of the Eagles 2. That'd be sick, dude. Or a March of the Eagles that's more expanded. Like, I'll tell you right now, the most perfect game in the world would be EU4 with March of the Eagles combat system and Victoria 2's population system. It just dropped the mic, dude. That's Paradox's best game ever. I'll tell you right now. Hey, Chewy, what's going on, man? Let's see. ChewyShoot says, I only do YouTube for the money. Wink, wink. Yeah, dude. Trust me, man. We're both YouTubers. I know that's not true. You know. Yeah. What's going on, Chewy? How you doing, brother? Let's see. Hey, Chewy, it's your favorite filthy Zed mine. Mike Oxwell says, the longest that I have played. That's an interesting question. I'm actually not sure. What is the longest campaign I've ever done? In any strategy game, so it has to be strategy. I'm gonna go off of videos here. Okay, to be fair, that was a long campaign. Okay, to be fair, our EU4 Scotland campaign was 38 videos. That is a lot to me. 38 is quite a bit. We did a Kara Koyan Lu campaign. That was 35. Dude, we did an EU4 Sweden campaign. That was 31. That was pretty long. We did a Burgundy campaign that was 33. That's actually pretty long. And that it's interesting because that was one of my older videos. That was one of the first videos I kind of did. Have I done an Austria campaign recently? I did. Yeah, I did. That was really damn. That was 20 vids. Wow. Okay. I gotta admit, Austria and no, actually, probably one of the most enjoyable campaigns I think I've ever done at EU4 was Sweden. That's a really enjoyable campaign. Oh, dude. Okay. No. Okay, if you go back really far, I think it's the first EU4 campaign I ever did. I did an EU4 Genoa campaign. You know how many videos that was? That was 50 videos. That was a lot. Holy shit. That's a lot. And then you know what's also crazy? I did a Crusader Kings 2 Reaper's Due campaign. That was 37 videos. That seems like a lot. Wow. Holy crap. That's crazy, dude. Yeah. I would say yeah, that Mare Nostrum campaign as Genoa. Yeah. Let's see. Saranska says, release the videos whenever you're ready, man. I'm in no rush. Hey, man, that's fair. That's fair. I'm thinking maybe tomorrow or maybe next week. I'm not sure. I might do a video every other day, so it's not too much on you guys. You know, just give it some time. We're gonna have a content creator mega bash up in here, man. You know, okay, so here's let's see. Miltiades, Miltidius. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think it's supposed to be Miltidiadis. Miltidiadis says, are you gonna see some collabs? Yes. I'm doing a co-op campaign with another YouTuber next week. Let's see. ChewyShoot says, chillin', man. Your delay's a bit long, me thinks. ChewyShoot says, 1821 campaign at EU4 takes the longest fuck time. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Miltidiatis says, I found you from the Netherlands campaign. Okay, I will also say, EU4 Netherlands, Netherlands run is extremely enjoyable, especially when you play tall. Okay, you guys got to check out that campaign that we did. We did a Netherlands playing tall campaign. That was an excellent time. That was super fun. Super, super fun. Because it's like, you can't just expand. You have to play tall. You have to play defensively. That was extremely enjoyable. Really. Playing tall in EU4 is a really good time. Let's see. Saranska says, my longest campaign was over 300 turns. A Wood Elves very hard campaign. Painting the map. Shit, that does sound like a long time. Yeah, that sounds like a bastard. Ren Habibi says, I don't know if you like mods or such, but any E4 YouTuber I've seen does challenges and mods to stop from getting repetitive. What are your thoughts on that? So I've done both. I've done mods and I've done challenges. I usually go for an achievement of some kind. That's usually what the campaigns were about. I've done a couple mods. You guys really seem to like Imperium Universalis. So I may get into that just because I enjoy the time period. But I don't know. You guys let me know. Let's see. Chewy says, I did a 77 episode Netherlands campaign before I realized people don't give a shit after 20 to 25 episodes. Yeah, I can hear that. Honestly, 77 episodes, it's a long time. I try and keep my campaigns, probably under 30, I think. 30 is pretty reasonable. 20 is like a sweet spot, 20 to 25. I can binge a 20 episode Let's Play in maybe a day or two. Kind of like a Netflix binge. 20 episodes, that's not bad. 30 is not bad. More than that is difficult. It's difficult. Let's see. Visnex von Neben says, I love to watch Sweden. That was the first one I watched. And that's true probably of a lot of my videos. That's actually, I think, still our most viewed video ever. Let me see. Yeah, so the Let's Play EU4 Third Rome campaign, Sweden, it's got 134,000 views. I released that 3 years ago. What's also interesting is the EU4 Golden Century campaign is Portugal. That's my second most viewed video ever. Now, what's unfortunate is the top 5 easiest nations in EU4 video is also my third most viewed video, which is 115,000 views. Yeah. Let's see. The general campaign is where I found your channel. Oh, wow. So Saratsko, so you've been watching for a long damn time, dude. Yeah. Yeah, Ivo says that's the problem with Paradox games is at some point you were just steamrolling through everything and nothing can stop you. Same with Total War. They need to put in a late game. Now you lost mechanics. That's kind of true. Yeah. Let's see. Rickinator says, "Are you going to take on the Barack Obama clan?" And I wish we were playing. I wish we were playing Fall of the Samurai. I should tell Donkey that we should do that. Also, we'll do Fall of the Samurai co-op campaign. Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. Well, yeah, we're gonna be doing something different. Let's see. Motidiotis says, "My heart is fucked to pronounce Greek name." The Hellenis. Netherlands is for sure my favorite country to play as, and I found Chewy from the Byzantium campaign. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. So we have a Byzantium campaign that never really did that great. And I think I know why. Do we? I swear we do. I think because I had to restart so many times, I didn't have an opening I didn't show the opening moves. I think so. I think I had already won the war against the Ottomans by that time, and it just kind of didn't take off, Yeah. Let's see. Oh, dude, yeah, Albania is pretty fun. Yeah, Al Albani says Albania is pretty cool too. Yeah, that was a really enjoyable campaign for me. It was frustrating though. It was very difficult, but it was extremely enjoyable. Albania was probably some of my best work. Yeah, and that's the thing though, is it didn't take off really. It has, even to this day, it only has 37,000 views. It never really took off that much. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird what videos take off and what don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just one of those things. Let's see. Mike Oxmo says, have you played an EU4 campaign from 1444 to 1821? I think I did. I think the Byzantium campaign I did. Because in that Byzantium campaign, at the very last year, I think in 1820, we formed the Roman Empire. If I remember correctly. So I think that was until 1821. I literally took from 1444 to 1821 to conquer all the Roman Empire. And most of the expansion happened in the last probably 100 years. Yeah. Let's see. Martino says I could watch all week a 70 episode of U4 series. It would probably take you about a week to do it. Yeah. Saranska says I don't always leave comments because I don't always have something to say, but I'm always here. This applies to ChewyShoot as well. That's fair, man. Hey, I get it, dude. I get it, man. If nobody, not everybody wants to leave a comment, I totally get it. I will say this. One of the things that I've noticed that really does make an impact on a video is likes. If you don't leave a comment, that's totally cool. I try and respond to people in the comments and be kind of, engaged the best I can. But what I've really noticed is the videos with a lot of likes, it really makes a huge difference. I never really thought that it did, but it does. I would even gauge to say liking a video and not commenting is better than commenting but not liking it. That's my theory on it. YouTube, obviously, YouTube doesn't give you the breakdown of it. They don't give you the specifics, but that's my theory is likes work more than comments. That's just me though. I don't know. Let's see. Multidiota says, will you play games that are not from Paradox 2? Yeah, I'm actually probably going to play mostly non-Paradox games. Like, I'll tell you right now, at this moment in time, right now, I do not have a Paradox campaign planned. Nothing. Nothing in the near future. I can't say what. It would have to be a special request or something. I have no plans for a campaign that's a Paradox game right now. So, let's see. Mike Oxmal says, do people ever play other EU4 start dates? According to Paradox, no. I think they said like 96% of their players play the first start date. The other 4% are other start dates. And even then they said, I believe, if I remember correctly, they said the other start dates are only played because of achievements in those specific start dates. So there's like a United States achievement. There's like a couple other ones. There's like a Venetian, I think it's like a League War start date or something. Yeah. So there's, it's interesting, man. It's interesting. Let's see. Mike Oxwell says, have you played CK3? I have not. I've meant to, though. I've actually meant to ask my friend Rickinator if he enjoys it. I meant to ask him. I've always meant to play it. I probably could ask maybe for a key, but I don't know. Northern Lords. I wonder if I should ask Paradox for a key, if they'll give it to me. Probably they would. They just had a new expansion released? Really? They did. They had a Northern Lords pack that just got released. Huh. Yeah, they just released a new expansion. Okay. That's interesting. All right, guys. I think it's gonna be it. I'm gonna probably go do some recording, actually. Yeah, I gotta take a little bit of a break. My voice is kind of but yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna release some videos, but it'll be soon. It'll be really soon. It's not like an official announcement, but I'm thinking about doing more videos and stuff. So you guys will see some soon. So all right, guys, thank you so much for coming by. I really appreciate everybody coming by. It's been really enjoyable hanging out with you guys. I love it. Thank you guys for coming by. And, I'm even thinking of doing more of these. I've had some talks with other YouTubers about having some sort of weekly show, like I've got at least one other YouTuber that wants to do one, possibly with me. If I do all the organizing, he would join on. And then me, as you guys know, me and Brent used to have a podcast together. So I've kind of debated doing kind of a roundtable with different YouTubers, just kind of talking about stuff and that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. I'm not really sure what's going to go down yet, but we'll see what happens. So I really appreciate everybody for coming by. Let's see. Rick says CK3 is awesome. It does not have as much content as the DLC'd up CK2, but the gameplay is very solid. I may have to try it. I may ask Paradox for a key. Probably they would give me one. Yeah, I can imagine that they would. Maybe. Probably. I think if I told them like, hey man, I'm looking back into getting into it, probably they would. Yeah. So, all right, guys. I really appreciate everybody for coming by. I'm going to go ahead and timestamp everything just in case anybody wants to see it after. You know, I'm just going to timestamp the topics that we talk about. So I really appreciate everybody for coming by. Thank you so much. You guys will see some videos pretty soon. Please stay safe. Take care out there. And you guys will hear from me soon. So thank you so much, guys. Take care. And William Farmer, thank you for the $100. I really appreciate that. I will be sure to put your name in the description. So I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.